In Minecraft, you normally spawn with 10 hearts, letting you survive crazy things, even falling over 100 blocks if you're wearing full netherite armor with feather falling 4. But what if that safety disappeared? Today I'm playing Minecraft Hardcore on mcpe, but there's one big problem. I only have 1 heart. No extra health, no second chances, just me and a world that can end everything in 1 hit. Can I actually survive with only 1 heart? Stay tuned to find out. The world started like any normal Minecraft world. I spawned in and punched my first tree. After that, I crafted the essential tools to get started. Then I managed to find and kill 2 sheep. Not long after, I spotted something even better, a promising cave. But before going in, I needed to prepare. I quickly mined some stone to upgrade my tools. And while mining, I got a bit lucky. I found 3 pieces of iron, just enough to craft a shield, which could literally save my life with only 1 heart. After that, I gathered some more food and turned into a lumberjack, collecting tons of wood so I could craft torches. Once everything was ready, I took a deep breath and jumped into the cave. Inside the cave, I didn't waste any time. With only 1 heart, every second mattered. I started mining iron, coal, and anything useful I could find. Because if I could get stacked early in the game, my chances of surviving this hardcore world would go way up. More armor, better tools, and hopefully a little more safety. So I kept mining deeper into the cave, grabbing every resource I saw. Day 2, and I was still deep inside the cave. Zombies kept showing up, but luckily they were pretty easy to deal with. Still, with only 1 heart, even the weakest mob could end the run if I made a mistake. One thing I did notice though, this axe really wasn't doing much damage. But putting that aside, I had a bigger goal in mind. I really wanted diamonds. If I could find diamonds, I could start thinking about collecting obsidian and preparing for the nether. Although, going to the nether with 1 heart and no enchantments sounded like a terrible idea. So I made a plan. First, collect diamonds and obsidian. Then, find a village and try to get some OP enchantments. And after that, I'll figure the rest out when I get there. So back in the cave, I started exploring deeper, placing 1 torch at a time as I slowly ventured further inside. Every step had to be careful. With only 1 heart, even the smallest mistake could end the entire world. Dark corners, strange sounds, and mobs hiding anywhere. This cave was not a safe place to be. But if I wanted diamonds, I had to keep going deeper. Eventually, my patience paid off. Deep in the cave, I finally found 5 diamonds. And with those diamonds, I crafted 2 very important things: a diamond pickaxe and a diamond sword. Now I could finally start working on the next step of my plan. I found some lava nearby and carefully turned it into obsidian. Then slowly and carefully, I started mining the obsidian, getting closer and closer to being ready for the nether. After that, I kept mining and even found more diamonds. And for some reason, I was also mining redstone, even though I probably wasn't going to use it. But then, things almost went terribly wrong. While searching the cave, a skeleton suddenly appeared and started shooting at me. With only 1 heart, every shot could end the run. I fought back and barely managed to take it down, but it left me on half a heart. And before I could even regenerate, a baby zombie came out of nowhere. If you know Minecraft, you know those things are fast. My world could have ended right there. 1 hit, and it was over. But somehow, I managed to fight it off and survived. After surviving that close call, I went straight back to mining. And this cave just kept getting better and better. I found more, and even more diamonds, until I finally had enough to craft myself a diamond chestplate. But the cave still had more to offer. On day 4, while exploring deeper, I stumbled across something huge, a mob spawner. And that was perfect, because mob spawners are amazing for experience. But even after that, I still wasn't done, because somehow this cave kept giving me even more diamonds. After all that time underground, I finally headed back to the surface, because honestly, I just needed to touch grass. Not long after leaving the cave, I ran into a wandering trader. He actually had some pretty decent trades, but what I really wanted was a lead. So I may or may not have taken care of his llama to get it. With the diamonds I collected earlier, I crafted myself diamond leggings. After that, I continued traveling, hoping to find a village so I could start working toward better enchantments. And along the way, I made sure to collect a bunch of sugarcane because I knew I'd need plenty of paper and books later on. On day 6, while exploring the desert, I stumbled across a desert temple. And of course, I had to check the loot. Then on day 7, I finally found a desert village. But there was one problem. It was really small. And if I wanted a proper place to set up villagers and get strong enchantments, this village just wasn't going to work. So instead of staying, I grabbed all the useful loot I could find and continued my search for a better village. On day 8, I finally found a village that looked perfect. So I decided to call it home. The first thing I did was go around the village and loot anything useful I could find. Food, beds, resources, anything that could help me survive longer in this hardcore world. But if this was going to be my home, I needed a proper base. So I started gathering wood and cobblestone, getting ready to build a place where I could stay safe and start working on my next big goal: villagers and enchantments. On day 23, I gathered some cows and sheep so I could have a steady source of food. I also bought some dripstone just in case I needed it later. After that, I spent some time doing home chores around the base. Then I finally made an enchanting table and enchanted some of my gear to make surviving this hardcore world a little safer. After finishing that, it was back to more chores around the base. And once everything was ready, I crafted 6 axes and a pickaxe because I was planning to gather a lot more wood and start working on a strip mine. While mining in the strip mine, I managed to find even more diamonds. And honestly, this world was starting to feel pretty lucky. So the next few days were mostly spent gathering resources and slowly improving my world. Then on day 77, I found even more diamonds. Around this time, I also built a villager breeder because I wanted to start getting a lot more villagers. And if you want to build this exact one, the tutorial is in the description. But back to Minecraft. I started working on my villager trading hall so I could finally get the best enchantments in the game. So, I'll see you again when I'm fully enchanted. Now I was finally fully enchanted, with protection 4 and mending on my gear. So it was time for the next big step, the Nether. I entered the Nether and started traveling across the dangerous terrain, fighting off ghasts along the way while searching for a Nether fortress. And after exploring for a while, I finally found one. I immediately started looting the fortress for every useful resource I could find. And then something crazy happened. On my very first wither skeleton kill, it dropped a wither skeleton skull. How lucky is that? After that, I found the blaze spawner, boxed it in for safety, and started farming blazes until I had plenty of blaze rods. Once I had everything I needed, I headed back home. Now the next thing I needed was ender pearls. Instead of hunting endermen, I decided to buy them from a villager with a brewing stand job. After getting enough pearls, I set out to find the stronghold. Eventually I found it and even located the end portal. I started placing the eyes of Ender into the portal frame one by one, But then, I ran out. I was 3 pearls short. Before going home, I collected all the bookshelves so I could trade them for emeralds and buy more ender pearls. After that, I finally had everything I needed. I placed the last eyes of ender into the portal, took a deep breath, and jumped in. The spawn was actually enclosed by blocks, which meant I was safe. Or at least, I thought I was. So I mined my way out and immediately started focusing on the main goal, destroying all the end crystals before taking on the Ender Dragon. Everything was going perfectly until this happened. For some reason, I looked up, and that one mistake ended the entire challenge. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this.